So in this quick section, let's dive into your podcast details and all that will entail. Your podcast details are simply the descriptive elements that will help you to differentiate your podcast from the other podcasts out there. It will help your listeners, help your audience actually locate your podcast. We're going to go over category, we're going to go over description, naming, all of that sort. So let's dive into it right now. With the podcast details, what we are looking at are the elements that describe the podcast. So for instance, with this particular podcast, with the screen that we're looking at here, you see that we have podcast coach, and then we have this descriptive element here. The reason why we want to focus on this is because the descriptive text is what will help people learn more about your podcast when they simply glance at it or look through it. So you want to make sure that you are communicating yourself clearly and succinctly. And the way that you want to go about this is to, again, understand who your customers are, who your clients are, and you can then put together a quick 2 to 3 sentence that communicates clearly what your podcast is about. Now you see we have the podcast, which is our channel. So we have a channel, and then we have episodes within our channel. So let's go into the settings and we will work on the podcast details. So here we have our name, and here we have our description. So you just want to make sure that you're clear for your audience as to what your podcast is about. Category. Here you want to select an appropriate category for what you provide. And here I believe I provide education, so that's what I'm selecting here. Language is English, however yours might be different. And if you don't use a lot of profanity, then you can set your explicit option to no. Your account. Here you can choose any photo that represents you, your face, or a brand. However, I like to use faces because it's a way to build relationship, and especially if you're building a relationship with an audience, a face is a good way to do that. And the face is what really people resonate with more so than the brand, whereby the brand is good, your face is actually something that another person more easily recognizes. And then it asks for your name. So this would be your name. For instance, my name is Vaughn. I will put that here, but for this purpose, I put podcast for coaches. My bio, I put the bio here, email, and I selected my custom URL for Anchor, which is what you see here, podcast coach. And then additionally, you can enter your website. Furthermore, you can connect your podcast to different accounts, so different social media accounts, so that when you create a podcast, it is automatically distributed on those social media accounts like Twitter and Facebook. And the monetization, we're not going to discuss that now. And then for the individual episodes that you are going to create, we can make the edits by renaming, updating the episode image, which we had gone through in an earlier video. Furthermore, about this particular episode, we can make changes as well, or rather enter an appropriate subject or summary of the particular episode. And that's that as far as the descriptive elements are concerned. You just want to make sure that things are appropriate, clear, and succinct, and tailored towards your audience.